Trying to. It says you're live.
Oh, okay. Hi, everybody. Dr. Mark here for Natural Health. Hope you're having a great evening. Tonight we're talking about sun health and the importance of It's a fact that we've been in the sun for millennials, for millennia, and our bodies are meant to have sun. It's important be in the sun because it activates vitamin D, which we're going to get into here, and it's very important for just lots of reasons. So with the sun, we've been around the sun forever. I think there was some controversy, probably wasn't last year because of the COVID junk, but the year before that, some dermatologists, Harvard professor, whatever, talked about, oh my gosh, don't be in the sun, you're going to get some skin cancer, blah, blah, all that kind of stuff. Well, it's not the sun that's the problem. The sun has been around for, like, again, these thousands of millennia and all that kind of stuff. It's the people's immune system, as we found out this last year with this COVID junk. So it's the immune system that has to work right, the body has to handle it, and if it doesn't work right, it's not going to. So anyway, we'll get into some more information here. And so vitamin D, of course, is a sunshine vitamin. It enhances the immune system. It's required for the absorption of calcium. It's needed for healthy thyroid function, helps prevent depression and anxiety, essential for neuromuscular function. So there's just all kinds of things that vitamin D does. And the big thing is here is the sunlight that activates vitamin D. So it's important for that. Signs of deficiency, there's a whole list of things there. Muscle weakness, malformation of bones, osteomalacia, osteoporosis. And that's an interesting thing too, that osteoporosis is not really a problem of calcium by itself. It's got to do with all the hormones and things that go along with that. And a lot of vitamin C actually is part of the problems with osteoporosis. Rickets, insomnia, cognitive impairment, and myopia. Causes of deficiency, well, you can see all those there. You're just not getting it. You're not absorbing it. You're not utilizing it correctly. The liver's not working with it right. That's the basic causes of deficiency that goes on with vitamin D. So just to kind of give you an idea of how this works, we have the sun, the UVB, and this is UVB. Now that's an important fun thing to look at too, because UVB and UVA are different parts of the spectrum, the ultraviolet spectrum, and most suntan lotions only stop UVA. So UVB gets in there and still gives you an underlying burn because you think you have suntan protection. There's a lot of goofiness goes on in that, and that's more sales and things with suntan lotion. That's a whole other topic. So you have the UVB exposure to hydrocholesterol, making your D3, which goes into your liver enzyme pathway, and dietary supplements of D3 and D2 can go, but it has to go through liver enzymes. And the thing for that is people don't realize, again, that these are oil-soluble vitamins. So the oils, they don't just suck into the body without any effort. The body has to break that down, and that comes from your bile. When you eat bile, or when you eat the fats, the bile is released from the gallbladder, if you have a working gallbladder. So if you don't have a working gallbladder, that means you've had problems in the liver for 20 years before or so. So anyway, liver pathways have to work correctly to convert this all into calcidiol, which is a form measured in the blood as a 25-hydroxy vitamin D. So then that gets into producing into calcitriol and calcitriolic acid, which is excreted in the kidneys, but it's the calcitriol that is the active form that does all the work. So all these pathways have to work correctly. Now, again, you can take lots of D3 as a synthetic supplement, which has been promoted a lot, but that's not the same as getting it in a food source, because the body, in its wisdom, likes the other Ds too, not just D3 in a synthetic form. It likes D2, it likes D1. It likes the other vitamins and minerals too. And in an oil-soluble world, in the oils, you're getting vitamin A and vitamin D and vitamin E and K. So it's all very important to get all of it at the same time. Get it in a food source. But again, you have to be able to digest it and absorb it. And even if you're taking a whole load of D3, synthetic forms, but your body's not able to absorb it, well, you're just not going to get it in there. And that's why it's important that you keep that part checked too. So if you're taking the purple pill and you're not breaking down these foods, or if your gallbladder's gone, or if your liver is toxic, you're not going to absorb it. You're not going to use it. And it's going to have to go through these pathways to even get to the point where your body can use it. And sunlight is what helps to get that to work. I think I got another slide. No. Another pathway that people don't look at is this word right here, cholesterol. 7-hydrocholesterol. Dehydrocholesterol. Cholesterol is a source of where the body gets this stuff from. So, all these people that are taking these statin drugs to get low on cholesterol are going to have a problem with this. Not only because they're not getting the cholesterol for the vitamin D, but they're going to screw their livers up, and they're going to have a hard time getting through all these pathways to get to the calcitriol, to get it to the part where the body's working correctly. Again, we're looking at calcitriol, the calcium, all the things that go along with that. That is where the parathyroid is the gland that's producing a lot of those hormones that help with the calcium absorption and that kind of thing, or utilization of calcium. So again, the osteoporosis is not just a problem with not getting enough calcium. It's all the other minerals, it's all the other hormones, it's the parathyroid not working, lots of other things there too. So there's a lot going on there. Now, they've had here that the mushrooms are a good source of dietary plant-based vitamin D, but they don't want to put on here about cholecalciferol from cholesterol. You have that right there. Where does that come from? Well, it comes from fats, good quality fats. And so your bad fats, like your things that are you have fried food, actually screw this all up. So you're eating fried foods out there, in restaurants and things. You're getting these canola oils and these margarine and all that junk, and that screws all this up. So again, that's why people have all these problems. As we'll get into some COVID information here pretty soon, if you would just have taken D3 and have a working liver, you would probably have gotten by without any even signs or symptoms of COVID. And that's been suppressed too, because it doesn't make anybody any money. Anyway, we'll go on to the next one here, because it's important to kind of see how this is all working with sun time as we're talking about sun health. So vitamin D synthesis in February. Now, the reason that is important is that it's kind of hard to see with the colors, but the bottom of the United States here, lower parts of Texas and Florida, are really about the only parts that are likely to get some vitamin D production in February. So what's that got to do with anything? Well, if in the Midwest here, because of course we're right in Illinois, kind of the belly button there of Illinois, we can get our vitamin D stores worked out over the summer, but as you work through wintertime, that's why we have the flu and all these big spikes in mortality from whatever infectious disease you want to look at. It happens mostly in the wintertime because vitamin D synthesis is low. So you have to know that and be able to offset that with supplements, or go to a suntan bed for 10 minutes a week, or all these things. But of course, the suntan beds cause cancer, la, la, la. So, it's just things to realize. You have to take some of these medical information in context of what's actually going on in the body. And again, just like the suntan beds, people have been doing that forever and ever. They didn't all die of skin cancer. So it's not like it's a one-to-one. It has to be a thing where you don't want to abuse anything, even regular sunshine. You don't want to be burnt. This common sense stuff. But anyway, that's why vitamin D, it's just a very important nutrient for the body. It's actually turns into a hormone. It's more of a hormone than a vitamin. But again, coming from cholesterol. So another source of cholesterol. So anyway, it's just very interesting stuff there. Now, I wanted to kind of point this out with the vitamin D thing as we get into a little discussion of COVID. I found these, the High Wire is a great independent news and information place, because they, some of the other places that I listen to, they have a lot of opinion. These guys take the time to look everything up and back it with scientific peer-reviewed papers. And if you become what they call an angel, if you donate, they'll give you those papers all referenced with all the information they have. So it's probably one of the best places to get that. You just go to thehighway.com and you go ahead and put in your email address, and they'll send you the report, and then you can decide whether you want to donate or not. It's up to you, but just a really good place. They have a lot of good information. The Jackson report. He does a lot. Mr. Jackson does a lot of good research on these kind of things. This is where I got these next two slides. So the VAERS COVID reports. The deaths now are 2249. This is from the jab. So it's a thing where this information is not out there. You have to go. This is the VAERS is the vaccine adverse events reporting system, and so it's a government reporting system. And so the doctors have to fill this out. The Harvard University did a report on this and said that 1% or less of the reported of the actual events are reported. So you can magnify this probably by at least a factor of 10 to get to more, or maybe even 100, to get to the more of the reports that actually are true. But anyway, this gives you an idea of where we're at going on from the jabs there. And this is the VAERS vaccine deaths. We started down here in 1990, and there are deaths from all the other vaccines out there. They're just not a lot until we get to the in February of this year, was it February or whatever it was, when we started doing the COVID one, and it's just spiked. So again, this is government. This is the U.S. This is government stuff here. I'm not making it up, but it's all on the high wire. So I wanted to point that out because I want people to realize what they are getting themselves into. And then if you look into other things, there's some other problems with it too. They're telling us, again, it's an experimental gene therapy, not really a vaccine. And it's just the thing that people got to realize what they're getting themselves into. Just be careful with it. So that's enough for me. That's getting way off the topic. So but anyway, I just wanted to point that out. I want people to kind of look at the high wire because it's important to get some independent information rather than just listening to the communist news. I mean CNN that way. So anyway, we'll go on and we'll have Dr. Chip speak now. I've caused enough trouble. Okay, see ya.
All right, let's see if I can follow that one. Okay, so I'm Dr. Chip, and I'm not going to do a whole lot of more information. I found a couple more things, but really, again, Dr. Mark kind of went over a lot of the main things already, so we'll kind of dive right into it. And I also wanted to, as we're talking about sun and sunlight and sun health, why he was kind of talking about those things is that we tend to think that these bugs or these viruses attack us and that we're just weak and we can't, fend for ourselves. But really, our bodies have been adapting for thousands of years, and that if we are good and healthy, all those bugs are just opportunistic. They need a host to actually get into the body to where then it can actually hurt you. So again, that's why sun, eating good food, doing right things helps to maintain good health so that you're able to defend yourself from those opportunistic viruses, bacteria, fungal, anything like that. So I'm just going to go over a couple of things here. Why the sun is important. First thing here, I put sleep cycle. Again, there's circadian rhythm. Again, that's more of that, again, your sleep cycle. And how that works is that when you wake up in the morning and the sun enters the eyes, or you see the sun kind of going through the window and hitting the eyes, it actually stimulates the pineal gland, a gland in kind of near the brain here, and that helps to shut off the melatonin. That helps to melatonin is a chemical that makes you drowsy, that makes you go to sleep. And so when the sun enters your eyes and shuts down that gland that produces the melatonin, it helps to get yourself back into waking cycle there. And of course, there's a lot of studies that show that people that work nights and everything that's working those shifts, again, they have a hard time to regulate that circadian rhythm, and that leads to more illness or more dis-ease of the body here. And also, there's plenty of research out there that shows that the sun is just good for better mood. Again, how that happens is that the sun stimulates serotonin. Serotonin is kind of more that feel-good chemical of the brain, that which helps to stimulate throughout the body there, and it helps you to feel good. Again, I think we all know and understand that when it's rainy or there's cloudy days or anything like that, we just feel a little more down. We don't feel that kind of energy. We don't feel like we're able to kind of go throughout the day. And as the days get longer, again, we feel like we can just keep going more. And that's kind of part of that. And then lastly, I just wanted to kind of hit on this. It seems like we went from, you could say, sun worship to where way back when, they actually worshiped the sun. The sun was something that was, they gave a lot of attention to. They didn't want to make it a bad thing or anything like that. They put a lot of reverence to it. They knew that it was very powerful, that it was very helpful in different times, or it could be harmful. And then again, then we kind of went to the sun dread, which it just seems like we've kind of feared it so much that we will do anything not to get out there because, again, it'll cause issues such as cancer and all that. But like anything, there's always a balance. And so, again, we're not saying to bake yourself in the sun so much that you become this lobster. But again, sun is very helpful. It's very beneficial for all the different systems of the body. And it's very good for our health in general. And so the UV rays, Dr. Mark was kind of talking about it, but the UVB rays that a lot of, they say to avoid is the same rays that actually helps all these different processes to help you be well. And so that's kind of this funny thing that we have going on now is that, again, we've come to this conclusion that we've feared it so much that we're not willing to actually expose ourselves to the sun and actually get health benefits from it. Again, eventually we're going to kind of get back to this routine of actually getting good sun exposure. So I think that is it. I didn't really have too much there. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Eddie, and he'll take it away.
Hey. Thanks, Dr. Chip. I'm also not going to talk a whole lot about the sun, but I'm looking in the standpoint of kind of combining them all together because when we're looking at the sun, like Dr. Chip was talking a little bit before, even just like a kind of the gloomy kind of times, if it's raining out, but also during the winter, you can say that sometimes we get the blues when it comes to that. So I'm going to look at more in the standpoint, as you know, I look more into the emotional, mental aspect of things, but we're looking at just, fun in general, and we're just going to, have fun, but also be fun. And I think this is kind of an interesting point to kind of illustrate the being part of this. We always hear the word fun, what does it all mean? Not in so much this careless type of act kind of thing, but really the standpoint of the word of being. I like the word being just because when we kind of look at it, we can state that being is kind of like a picture, but there's a lot of components as it relates to the being part of it. So this picture could very well be a puzzle. And a lot of these puzzle pieces have a lot of different variations of what we can look at it for actually being something. And the reason why I bring this up is because this puzzle piece, this picture of what we're going on, for instance, if this TV was a big picture, and individual pieces of this is something that we could be doing or thinking or feeling or acting. But when we're looking at this, the being is what is going to be actually conditioning in our mind for us to be more fun. So for instance, if I bring you back to this analogy that we have going on here, then we look at these two different types of beings. We have someone that, they love what they're doing, they enjoy being with others, and they always just like the being present in the moment. There's this other person that we can say, or a different version of me, let's just say there's two versions of I, is bored, there's ignored of being with others, and they're just fearing of what's going on tomorrow. Now I would assume from these different, polar opposites, you would say this one's probably going to be the person that's having more fun, that's being more fun. Like I said, there's a lot of different variations, a lot of different puzzle pieces that go into one single picture that's going to be conditioning the mind. So for instance, if I'm this person and I'm, in a Cancun, Mexico, and I'm enjoying my vacation, but I'm just super bored, I'm tired of all the tourists that are around me or whatever, but I'm also thinking about what I'm going to be doing when I go back home. Well, that right there is the conditioning that will be happening and going on within the mind that will continue to see the momentum of that type of being, you could say. So let's just say, and we kind of look at this, if we're wanting to enjoy the summer much, much more, we want to enjoy this great sun that's actually healthy for us, and we can be out there, think about this, we can have much more fun, even just from our natural standpoint of being, if we condition our mind to look at much more of those different puzzle pieces, rather than just saying, oh, I'm having fun. Well, there's a little bit more to the feeling behind this, because what they're kind of stating that this feeling or this being goes in a couple different ways of how we think, of how we feel, and how we act. So you can look at those are three big puzzle pieces to really get the foundation of the being standpoint of how it relates to the mind. So if we find ourselves looking at more of the negative nature of things, well, that's the type of a being that's going to be conditioned within the mind, and now that's going to be our natural state of being. But as I'm looking at it, fun is a state of being. And we can always have fun all the time, but it's up to what we have conditioned in our mind. If we're more of this bored type of angry, annoyed personality to more of this fun-related personality. And usually, I would think that in a lot of people's cases, if we condition our mind a lot more of just enjoying where we are, being present in the moment, just loving what we're doing, whether it is we're at work or, mowing the lawn or enjoying the evening with our family, we can find ourselves with a greater personality that's much more enjoyable, loving, and happy to hang out with. So the fun is really a lot that goes on to it. I mean, it's like I said, it's like kind of a puzzle, or it's a picture that's worth 1,000 words kind of thing. So if we want to look at the fun standpoint, and we put that with the sun together of how we can kind of have the best summer we're going to have this year, and really paint the full picture of getting more to that emotional health of things. So that is all I have for you. Where we're at right now, we're at Natural Health Quincy IL on our Facebook and Instagram and Parler, but we're also putting our videos on Brighteon and YouTube. We would love for you guys to subscribe to our email list. This is going to help you guys get a little bit bigger picture or get a little bit of understanding more of our blogs that we're putting out. But also we got some great recipes with you that we're probably going to kind of tailor them towards the more of the summer months. And you can also schedule an appointment with us and find us at 2000 Jefferson in Quincy, Illinois, 62301, and schedule your appointment at 217-228-2040. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Bye.